Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. Today, we're going to connect the dots between a whole wave of headlines, from OpenAI, Tesla, Intel, you name it, to reveal the one massive story that's shaping our world right now, the all-consuming race for dominance in artificial intelligence. You know, it's less of a trend and more of a global competition. Some, like Chime CEO Chris Britt, are calling it the dawn of a new era. And that quote right there, it just perfectly captures the scale of what we're all witnessing. Okay, so let's really dive into this, right? If this is a revolution, then who's actually leading the charge? Who's falling behind? And maybe most importantly, what does it all mean for us? Right, every gold rush has a starting pistol. So let's take a look at the event that's just pouring fuel on this AI fire. The release of OpenAI's GPT-5 is being hailed as this significant step forward, a more reliable, more capable model. But here's the thing. To really get the impact, you have to see the foundation it's building on. Even before this new release, OpenAI's COO dropped a bombshell of a statistic. Employees at 92% of Fortune 500 companies were already using ChatGPT. Think about that. That's a 700 million user funnel leading people straight from their personal use right into the enterprise. It's huge. And to power this revolution, companies are building what are basically the factories of the 21st century. These massive data centers. And the price tag? Well, it's just mind-boggling. I mean, look at this number. This really shows you the sheer scale of the ambition here. We're talking about the potential price tag for something called Project Stargate, this huge venture between OpenAI and SoftBank. Their goal? To invest up to $500 billion just in the US for AI infrastructure. And believe me, they are not messing around. They're already making big moves. Yeah, a full-on land grab for this infrastructure is happening right now as we speak. You've got SoftBank buying up an old EV plant in Ohio just to start building AI servers. Meta is bankrolling a nearly $30 billion data center expansion. And OpenAI, well, they're not just partnering with Microsoft anymore. Now they're bringing in Oracle and SoftBank too, just to try and keep up with what their CEO calls a torrid pace of demand. It's a frenzy. But here's the thing, it's not always about building bigger. Some are trying to build smarter, and that's exactly Akamai's approach. So instead of these giant centralized data centers, they're using their existing network that's already spread out across 750 cities. What's the goal? Well, it's to get that computing power closer to you, to the users, which cuts down on lag and really boosts performance. And that's a really unique approach, you know? It's fueling some rapid growth for Akamai. But if these data centers are the factories, then what's powering them? You guessed it, the computer chips. These are the real weapons in this arms race. And like in any conflict, you're going to have your strategic victories and some pretty costly retreats. And this was a major headline. Tesla, a company that is famous, just famous for its whole "we build everything ourselves" philosophy, they're actually pulling back from making their own supercomputing chip, Dojo. For them, that is a huge pivot. Yeah, as one Bloomberg reporter put it so simply, Elon Musk took a crack but wasn't able to get there. And this isn't just about one company's ambition. This shows just how astronomically difficult it is to compete with a player like NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA has spent decades and billions of dollars optimizing their hardware and their software so they work in perfect sync. Even Musk himself called Dojo a moonshot, and it looks like this one just didn't quite reach orbit. And you know, Tesla isn't the only one feeling the heat here. The pressure on the legacy giants like Intel is absolutely immense. As one analyst noted, after a decade of, well, drifting, the task of making Intel relevant again in this new AI era is just enormous. Okay, so we've got this intense hardware battle where some of the biggest names are struggling just to stay relevant. But let's shift gears. Let's move from the weapons to the front lines. How are these powerful new tools actually being used? Right now, companies are deploying AI to get a competitive edge in their own markets, everywhere from finance to communication. Okay, take the fintech company Chime. Their CEO just came out and said they are already handling over 70% of all their customer interactions with generative AI. And here's the key part. He says it's not just about saving money, it's actually making customers happier by getting them answers way faster. So this creates a really clear playbook for the companies that provide, the plumbing for this whole revolution. Think about a company like Twilio. First, you have all these AI startups flocking to its voice infrastructure. Second, it lets those companies plug in whatever large language model they're excited about. And the end goal for everyone? Driving efficiency to create better, faster customer service. It's a win-win. Okay, but let's just pause for a second on this quote, because it really captures the central tension of this whole AI boom. On one hand, you have this massive adoption and excitement. But on the other, as this analyst points out, there are still these huge questions about how much of this excitement actually translates into direct, measurable productivity gains for the economy as a whole. Is it a real revolution, or are we all still just in the playing around phase? And that question, it really just hangs over everything, doesn't it? This AI arms race is creating what a lot of people are calling generational opportunities. But it's also coming at a pretty significant cost. So here's the breakdown. The prize, that's pretty clear. New efficiencies, just like we saw with Chime, generational opportunities for companies like Twilio, and better products all around. But the price tag is steep. We're seeing this fierce war for talent, with Tesla losing key people and companies like OpenAI and Microsoft fighting tooth and nail to attract and keep the best minds. It requires massive, massive capital investment, and the pressure on leadership to get this right is just immense. So that brings us to the crucial point. As we pour hundreds of billions of dollars and literally the world's best engineering talent into this race, what's the ultimate goal? What crucial problems are we choosing to solve with all this incredible power? And maybe just as importantly, which ones are we choosing to ignore? The stated mission is to build intelligence that's beneficial for all of humanity. But as this incredibly powerful future gets built, the biggest challenge might not be technological at all. It might be one of direction and purpose. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.